I don't think anyone would disagree that Lilia is probably one of the most broken champions on the current patch and in future patches because they're not nerfing her. This is the tech where we kind of have, a triple burn technology now. Obviously in this game we have here the Moss Stomper, or you can go obviously Gustwalker Hatchling, the Blue Smite, but the Red Pet plus, Blackfire Torch plus Leandries plus her passive, well, 4 burns is a possibility. Now, here's the thing, when you buff jungle experience in such a way that farming junglers basically have a higher baseline of income, ganking junglers need to be a little bit more proactive with how they do things on the map. Now here's the thing, Lilia isn't like your Karthus. I mean, Karthus is fine, right? The guy is very, very strong, and yes, he was just nerfed, but Lilia can actually match rotations on a lot of high-tempo aggressive junglers because she's just a strong jeweler as well as a farmer. When you combine that with basically, well, all the items and the experience, you're looking at a champion with very little weakness, and you don't have to think much. Crossing over is a little bit slower than a Karthus, a lot slower actually. Tristana, with the priority there, has gone down to ward. Popped up again, obviously always keep track of that. You absolutely must head to Virkayu.gg. Not only do I have a free jungle improvement resource, I also have a dedicated program with jungle video courses, jungle coaching classes, a jungle VOD library, special weekly content you'll see nowhere else, as well as all of this hosted in a private jungle Discord. And if there is one thing I'm good at, it's making junglers go from low elo to high elo, as seen by the great number of success stories from the end of last season and already the beginning of season 14. So to climb faster than everybody you know and to jungle diff every game you play, head to Virkayu.gg or click the link in the description below. We have the Rumble shoving in the Malphite. Classic matchup. Everyone who's played old school Malphite does know that Rumble historically was a good counter for him because I scale with armor. Now, Lilia's red side is a lot quicker than the blue side, as you can see. Karthus is finishing off his red here. I like this. Blue Gromp Walls Raptors Krugs red means he can go back to base, do some stuff, and then obviously Gromp, Wolves, Raptors, Krugs will spawn in a quick sequence. He also has the ability to kind of flex clears as necessary because he's so quick. Lilia's clear, despite everything I just said on the first route of the game, isn't that quick usually. Look at this. Like, this is pretty solid here. We're looking at a 322, 323, that's fine. We have a diveable opportunity here onto the Malphite. It looks like it hasn't really gone to plan. Lilia says, you know what, that's fine. I will take this here crab. Bottom line, seem to be completely disrespecting the fact that the Lilia did sequence down and they know she's here, but Lilia isn't interested. Now, in this case, the Karthus dies. I know you don't want to waste much time because you know that this Scuttle Crab is up, but come on. Go over here, ward this up, we know where Karthus is going. You don't really need to waste your wards. You could hold on to them, right? And then go and use it on top side. We use it here, which again, that's fine also, but I guess this is nice because you could anticipate the Karthus respawns, goes doof doof, and loops in for a dragon, or counter jungling, or a bottom lane gank. That is probably what you're thinking there, but I think in most MMRs, please, just slap the ward on the Grump. Guarantee that he shows up. Now, here's the thing about Karthus that's very, very interesting. He's got a lot of downtime on the map, and in theory, they can go ahead and gank and do some other stuff, but a lot of the time you'll see Karthus is waiting for that. Now, because of the fast clear, we know his Raptor camp will spawn pretty quickly. Usually, when you start bottom side and go up full clear, it should be around 5 minutes, 5 minutes of 5. It could be less on certain junglers, much like a Karthus, but we like this gank from the Lilia here. Burn damage, applies everything. Twisted Fate says thank you very much. Karthus is here into this. We know she's going to go here all the way down, and the mind games begin. This is the interesting part, right? Like the second phase is when things start to get a little bit, all right, what are you doing? What am I doing? Here, obviously, we have this. We see the Karthus here. He doesn't cross over here, so we know, okay, guys on top side. Now, Lilia has a decision to make. Because the Karthus now has this advantage over her, this clear tempo over her, she has to either continue going on, give up top lane ganks as well as top grubs, or what she can do is try and gank this first, create an advantage where the Karthus can't deal with this and has to go back to base. Now, let's see exactly what happens here. This is a comeback game. This is tragic. This is silly. This is dumb. This is okay. So this tells me she wasn't thinking about what you and I were thinking. I hope you were thinking it. Because when you decide to invest in the gank on the Tristana here, and you go back to this, you know straight up, well, he's got ult. Maybe it doesn't matter, let's see. He should be okay. And he's got no mana now. So even if he was at least really close to 6, that's why I clicked. So, in summary, what the Lilia should have done after this was just sequence all the way down and said, you take grubs, I'll deal with bottom lane, I'll take a dragon, I'll get in your jungle here, maybe I'll gank bottom lane again. That's because she chose to gank to Tristana. And that's fine, right? But if you're going to take away the gank from the Karthus there, it has to be 100% a guaranteed scenario, and you've got to do the good stuff. So Twisted Fate has ult, Karthus is on the grubs, and now obviously this is a little bit of greed play from the Karthus. He goes for this. We take 1 grub to 2, but he does have ult, so... You know, it's greed. Tristana's coming. Tristana's coming. Oh! I was hoping we'll get a Lilia sweet spot damage there. This is a bit nutty. So let's just... I mean, I don't like to always do this in this channel, but, like, look at this. You can go ahead and contest this straight up, that's fine. It's greedy from the Karthus from the perspective of, okay, if Lilia shows and Twisted Fate has R, I'm a little bit screwed, especially if this guy has TP, for example. He does and it's down. But this guy's a little bit low, so if this collapse works out quickly and well, you're just going to lose grubs and be in a sad position. Now, my personal opinion on this, if I was a Karthus, is I should be getting free grubs because the Lilia should go to the bottom side to focus on her own experience because Rumble is here, because Tristana is here, because Karthus got the level 6 early ult. That's what I would be thinking, and when Lilia showed up here and she kills me, I would be pretty incensed that she was up here. Be like, why are you here? Because... Right? He takes this, Lilia takes Quadrant, she also has a ganking opportunity, she has this, she has deep vision control, that gives her 6, and now she can swap this grub snack for an advantage here. But here's the thing. Lilia is a champion that does not require, and I'm sorry to offend you guys sometimes, it doesn't require you to think like this about the game because she will scale up nicely and she can come back in any situation. Karthus too, but it does require a lot more neuron activation, let's just say. However, I feel like the Lilia now with both deaths has compromised herself quite substantially. She has not looped her experience properly. She has died unnecessarily. The Karthus has gotten 3,000 gold. He's 700, 800 gold ahead of the Lilia at this particular stage. This is not the good stuff. She's got a supremely delayed level 6. She'll get it on this one. That's what's funny. Supremely delayed level 6 and 2 deaths, and it's still 729. 730. What if she just sequenced, right? So as a Lilia player, yes, you can go for these contests and these fights, but make it within the flow of the jungle camps, within the flow of clearing, because your first clear isn't as speedy as the Karthus. It's not going to be doing this. There you go. Going up. We see the Tristana. Lilia decides to go all the way down. This is exactly what you want to do here. We're looking at the bottom lane. We do have our ultimate available. We know Karthus will be on the top side. And if there's nothing for Karthus to do, the guy will reset and then be a little bit bored. So what you want to do is if Karthus is resetting and coming down now, you want to get something going. Ah, there he shows mid lane. Okay. Phew. As Lilia here, you're happy with this because now it means you can go bottom lane. Let's go. We need to get in. We need to use our ult. Obviously, vision track. Grandmaster. This is fine, but like... Yeah, we're looking at the wrong things. However, again, it's Lilia. So you hit the swirl seed here, you got the sweet spot, the true stuff, and the ult. We're going to use that for that bonksy bonks. There you go, a little auto attack to finish. That's 2 kills. Now, Karthus has started to take over from this, but Tristana's like, yo, I need to go back to base. She chucks a swirl seed. That one does miss. Karthus uses his W, dodges the Qs. Twisted Fate has ultimate great champion. Over the wall we go, and free dragon. Chucks a swirl. Ooh. A little bit close. Does he lazy base here? Because bottom lane have to respawn. He cancels. He wants to kill the Ezreal. Lilia sees the cancel. He greeds. Now he's slowed. True damage and sweet spot damage combo. Dark Harvest. He stacks it up. No first strike for him. They're nerfing first strike as well. So, we'll have nerfed first strike as well. So, It's going to be interesting to watch the evolution of what champions do, because I know there's a bit of a resurgence up. I'm not going to talk about that here, but the Dark Harvest versus First Strike on many champions is a very interesting discussion. There is a lot of feel to it, but there's also some objective truth to some things. Regardless, in Lilia's case, you can go Dark Harvest, as we all know, but Conqueror has become pretty standard most of the time because her passive here does a ridiculous amount of healing, so why not synergize with that? She's also in fights quite a lot, and for a long time, so you get the bonus AP ratios. Well, it do be a dead Twisted Fate. And now the grubs are up here, but Karthus, because of this death is compromised, he might have decided to actually cut up here instead of going down to maybe do something about this. There's a tick damage. The lack of awareness on river pathing this game has not been very good, but again, the whole objective of this video is to show you that even with imperfect jungling, you can carry with Lilia. She can dominate in this meta, and it's a good meta for her because she can fight and die a little bit more than you probably want to. She's not like other AFK farming junglers where she really needs to do it straight up. She does have a certain power level. Now, obviously Rumble has TP back in, he does have the ult here, he's got the magic penetration E and the slow, just give them up. My biggest thing here with these situations that the Lilia is not doing this game is just give shit up. Oh no, we lost the grubs, okay. As long as you take the full sequence, gank bottom lane and get some counter jungling, huge. Oh no, they took the dragon. All right, well, maybe I can counter jungle your top side and gank your top laner. It's about always moving, which is ironic because this champion does that with their 4 stacks, which scales with their AP. So the more fed you get, the faster you go, the less people can deal with you. It's a whole wild ride. Now, bottom, look at this. You know, I look at this here, she's looking at the mid lane. We do hit the swirl seed onto the minions. You have ult up as well if we want to use it. But look at this. See, look at this. There's a Q. There's a Drowsy. She also has a Smite Bonk that she can use, or doesn't even need to use it because she can't. She already did. Watch cooldowns. So, bottom lane do die, and Twisted Fate is still dead, but that was not a fed, but, you know, 5,200 gold Rumble with 5,400 gold. You know, we have 1,200 unspent. Solid. Very solid damage numbers that she provides. As always, a card that, oof. He's not played very well, 2-4-3. I mean, obviously he's died to random contests. I don't hate this cut here, but I'm not entirely sure why we would do this. Rumble has no TP. We're obviously not tracking the Karthus very well. They've seen her go up, back to base. Either way, Landry's plated steel caps. Plated steel caps. Okay. Boots. Boots are almost a religion. There's belief systems on certain champions that you should go 1, 2, or 3, and then there's also empirical things like, okay, look, here we've got a lot of CC, but you know, Nami's got knockups, doesn't apply to me, but a few slows from the Rumble and the Karthus, sure, but no real hardcore CC that I'd want to avoid with Merc Treads. Ionian Boots, having that extra rotational spell, and then obviously we've got, don't do this, but Swifties on other champions, not on Lilia, that we like to run for movement speed and getting around the map. It's just interesting to listen to certain mains talk about boots through their own perspective. Regardless, in this one, we've gone for the defensive stats against the double ADC comp, as is the meta. Now, 1328, Karthus is sequencing, we are sequencing. Again, I think a little bit too hands-on with some of the rotations, but I did like the early Tristana gank here. Halfway to level 11. There's a Karthus ult, should do the juice. Oh no, it doesn't do the juice because the guy decided to... Just don't. Just don't, alright? Just don't. There you go. I mean, I'm thinking, oh, this guy has, you know, Blackfly Torch, or at the very least Leandries, let's go. 11 seconds, ult, swirl seed, oof! It's a might. Here we go. Dodge. Got the Q flash on this champion as well here. Make sure you use your smite. Oh, that swirl seed doesn't hit rather. Ooh. Gets the ult. Okay, let's look at that again because that was nice. So, obviously with Lilia, what you have is Q flash combos, and here she dodges this down, which is pretty nice here. You can obviously make sure it goes really quickly. And this is incredible from the Nami. What an incredible interrupt on that W, which of course interrupts that entire animation, and then Lucian is able to flash down. She misses her swirl seed. This is just terribly angled, but she does, if she hits this, have her R available to use. Instead decides to go into the Nami to freeze her in time and space and allow her to escape just a little bit. That is a 2-second flat to 2.5 second scaling sleep, I guess, on her ultimate there. 2.5, 2.5 as you can see. So use that well. It's a classic, right? Q Flash R Zonya's combo into mega team fights. But the healing, as you see, you want to stay in those fights. Let's see what Conquer tells us. What do you tell us at this particular stage? 108 healing. Doesn't sound like a lot, but in these situations when you do have it stacked up and you heal a little bit with your passive, it is pretty substantial. Now, Back into the jungle we go. I didn't check. So 1448, you know, we're looking at a Karthus who should be, yeah, well and truly over level 11, which he is, and Lilia is on her way to it. By 14 minutes, you're looking at 6,000 gold. Both have that, just, you know, a little bit over. And I mean, for these types of champions, you want to be at least over level 10. As close to 11 as possible, especially considering how quickly you farm with the experience in the meta. Now, while this has not been the sexiest game of all time, at all, we are currently down 4,000 gold on the blue team, and Lilia basically needs to ensure she is getting strong, right? You are getting far ahead because you can actually single-handedly take care of their comp, right? Hyper squishies, not a lot of CC to stop you, which is absolutely huge. TP from the Malphite here, off we go. No ult available. We will be squashed here, so we're going to make sure we choose our targets correctly. Rumble follows through. We'll just go ahead and hit that beautiful W onto the Lucian for the sweet spot damage. Remember, the outer ring of your Q does true damage, so you want to try and keep that spacing as much as possible. Always, always, always. Nice combo there, and Twisted Fate didn't even have to use his ult because he don't got it. That's the thing. With this gank here, she survives. She forces the Lucian flash. Malphite can TP. Losing lane everywhere, so we show up. We get a shutdown if we can. Yes, we give up the dragon, but that's fine. Control your own quadrant. Bottom side quadrant secured. This pressure causes a top bounty for us. Now we can take this quadrant over here. Nice and juicy. This guy should be close to 12. Thought he might actually have hit 12 on the Grump, but there you go. On the Scuttle Crab, he will. Gold lead. 5k. Twisted Fate, great champion. Just that whole AD shift was just stupid. It is what it is. This is most important when you're trying to come back in these sorts of games, right? Look at the map here, a little dark. This guy's overcommitting. He's going to die. Karthus is mad right now. He's mad. He's so mad. Malphite can't exactly kill this guy. Soraka activates the ult plus the redemption, and he flashes over the wall. Lilia says, let me just smite you. Hit the true spot damage. Hit the W. He flashes that one, so we have the Drowsy. Frozen in time and space. Another Q outer ring auto attack, and down goes a Mechanique. Good. This is it. Losing lanes on Lilia is really, really fun because you can swoop and control your jungle. You can make picks. Yeah, you give up this and you give up this, and maybe you give up this. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. You're so quick around the map with your passive, and that's where the Gustwalker Hatchling is much better in these situations. I would recommend that as a default, actually, over Moss Stumper. Moss Stumper's fine. It's great, but now you're going to see the Blackfire Torch Leandry's combo burn. I like the combo still. I think it serves its purpose on every champion that wants to build it. I think it's absolutely ridiculous on the champions that are meant to be using it versus before where it was just kind of like anybody could build it. Well, not quite, but you know what I mean? Like it's a combo that's strong, but I don't feel like it's overreaching anymore, right? I feel like they did a solid job making this cool item for AP mages in the jungle or fighters and bruisers, and it does its job now. And you have to make sacrifices, which is kind of the point I'm getting at. Oof! Sweet spot on the W. A little bit of a gap closer there, so you can use it to dodge spells as well, right? It's the fact that, you know, normally, like on a Zyra, things like this, even on a Lilia, you can go into Rylai's, right? You can go into utility, HP. You can have the Zhonya's and things like this. But when you go double burn, you're basically saying, look, I want the Liandry's with HP. I also want the old Liandry's with mana and haste, right? Like you're combining sort of mythic Liandry's and modern Liandry's plus having bonus damage to monsters, so it's really useful to do so. But then, of course, you lose HP, you lose survivability, but you gain extra insane amounts of damage because it's different kind of damage, obviously, when you're looking at flat and percentage, and you compromise. So, for example, for me, I like to go Crypt Bloom third, and I just say, I'll go Rylai's fourth, because I try and play the game in such a way that I can win the game with 3 items. And I think on Lilia, while that's typically always the goal to snowball to 3-4 items and then just win the game, sometimes you are in a deficit. And I love this, really. Look at this. They're all kind of waffling around. Everybody's waffling around. Lilia's just shadowing the situation, taking camps, moving back and forward. Here we go. Malphite bottom lane. Twisted Fate going back to the top lane. All of this is as it should be. Herald is activated. There you go. Force them into a play. Level 13. Gold amount. 1,000 gold up in the Karthus now. Just from these roams side to side. It's really this easy. If it sounds boring a little bit, it is a little bit boring, but that's why it's easy. There you go. the kind of stuff you do want to avoid is you want to avoid that situation. That was not so good positioning. Karthus' damage is going to be a little bit stronger, but Soraka is pretty strong against that, especially when you build like an idiot. We have a high elo Karthus, hardcore main, private Discord. When he sees this, he's going to be very upset. You know, mains and one trick sometimes take these things very personally. In fact, I might even show it to him just as a joke. Now, the Twisted Fate splitting on the top side, Rumble shows up. Big fisting in the mid lane here, mid jungle. The next dragon's coming up. I'm not really stressed about it. You know, you can catch the wave here. I'm not looking to force a fight too much. If I can make a pick, I will do so. Obviously, we have Twisted Fate top lane. He's our pick master. But we want to be careful here. Back and forth, in and out. Snack that if you can. Okay, now you can push it mid lane. Now you guys can actually force mid lane push up a little bit just to create some extra pressure outward, because you see the Twisted Fate's doing a good job here, killing the Rumble, forces the TB from the Tristana. This is exactly what you want to use. And now you got the TB from the Malphite, so you guys can immediately swap to a Baron bait. There's that TB there to cut her off. They should anticipate and know this. Rumble, Karthus is going back to base. Nami's going back. Go, 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 go. Yep. I love this. Twisted Fate is TP as well. And Ultimate Destiny. Ultimate Destiny. Uses his TP though. There we go. Karthus can't go over the wall. He has flash, he can't go over the wall, so we got to do a little bit of zoning here. I don't like coin flip in this whatsoever. It makes me a little bit nervous. When do we do this? Malphite goes in for the Giga ult. Oh! That was still close. I like what they were thinking about, but it was still close, because Karthus can still press a button even though he's dead. There it is. If he was building correctly, that might even be, that should actually and would be a dead Ezreal. I believe that one for a second. Lilia now can Kaidachi uses her R onto the Luciano. W is avoided, but the swoop-de-doob is not. Beautifully done. That's where Lilia succeeds, with the moving in and out, and the chucking of the abilities. Chuck the E. There you go, it's fine. Because again, it scales from your Q passive here, right, which scales with AP. So now we're at 19% bonus movement speed for 6.5 seconds, stacking up to 4 times. Who's catching it when you have minimal CC on the enemy team? Ain't nobody knows. Here, obviously, you know, you can build into Zhonya's, you can build into, you know, people hate on the Banshee's Veil, especially on your Evelyn kind of champions, but if you need to build it, right? Especially against Karthus. Like, Zhonya's and Banshee's Veil against Karthus, if you are a mage, it's absolutely huge. Now, if they build correctly and they're really fed, really, just do it. Like, even on Lilia, you can do it, and you can have Rylas as well, so you're sitting in a good position. Gonna lack a bit of damage, but, you know, you're alive to dish it out, and you can heal. You have a lot of HP, good resistances. That was nice though. Really good patience here. Swing, swing, swing. Don't force. Wait for pressure. Swap into this. TP to cut off. Decent zone. Still close though. Still coin flip. Not a fan of that, but overall I like it. Now that Baron snack, all of that play there is led by the Lilia. Yes, Ezreal's done a good job. Yes, Soraka has been pretty damn good. But the Lilia is the one with the damage. She has significantly higher damage than anybody on her team in this game. Match history, as always, below. You can have a look. She is the reason and the catalyst for the comeback here at this particular stage. You know, Twisted Fate splitting 15. Word 15. 2 highest levels in the game. 260 CS highest on the team. Only person in the game that's highest Tristana. Great. It's exactly how I play the game. Not the dumb stuff. I try my best not to do dumb stuff. You know, like, I may do dumb things, but I'm not stupid sometimes. But this game, I would never make those plays. It's just not in my nature to kind of cut in those ways. And I prefer a lot more the, you know, you take the grubs, I take the bottom side action. But either way, sometimes you have to contest things. So we burn the ult from the Nami. Now 3 people show top lane. This is when you shove. Malphite's cutting in here. The bottom turret is being crashed upon. Obviously, Twisted Fate goes back to base. There it is. Great play around the split push and macro. I had coaching yesterday where this Viego on my team had the lowest damage in the game at side. I think the support Blitzcrank was down like 1,000 damage. But they only won the game because of a split push. I was guiding it because enemy team comp, I'll explain when we have a bit of quiet, was a Mumu, Aurelion Sol, Kai'Sa, Shen, and Sona. And he was a Viego. And they were just bunched up like this, right? Like mid-MMR games. Like, what do you do when your team has no engage? You macro. And the Twisted Fate's doing a really good job of it. So he's not involved in these fights, but they're playing very well off of him. Obviously, in those lower MMR games, he has to cut and rotate, but I like this. Great patience. And then you can't go in because it's a Rocker, because it's a Lilia, because of the damage and the healing that she provides. Goes for the utility third item here. Instead of, obviously, you don't need Cripplement and things like this. We want the Rylai's. We want the Zhonya's to be able to survive in these fights, right? We've got the Malphite, but we're going to follow him. There's a Rumble ult onto the wave to try and burn it, but we have at least 2 grubs, which does something. Lilia should be careful here not to be caught doing the grump without a rotation. Karthus pushing mid lane. Malphite TPs, that's pretty big, but what can we do here in the back line? Gotta be smart about it. We do have Zhonya's. No ult. 5 seconds ult. Play around your ult. TP being committed now that Malphite can't join. So what you want to do is sag off. Sag off. Hey. Oh, wait. As I said, they don't have a lot of CC. So even if you wanted to use his ult or TP in front of them, good yellow card. All right. Red side quadrant. We take it. Now we chill. Look. You want to win these games, you want to climb to your peak in solo queue, you want to carry laning phase where people are terrible. Don't tilt. Don't flame them. Alright. Don't. Look at the Twisted Fate. The guy was 1-5-1. Now, even if he's rage splitting in low elo, he's obviously not low elo, but even if he were to be rage splitting, right? You can play around that with the right decisions. Play around what your team are doing, make the best decisions, be the most fed member on the entire map, and then you control the pace. So even though they had a gold lead, they couldn't really do anything because of the macro and the fact that the Lilia was this nice glue for her team, and they could not really go in because she would just make them go to sleep, then do a lot of damage, and then heal up, and then run away, and they couldn't do anything because they don't have enough CC. Hey, it's a bad, terrible life for them. Lucian dashes in a little bit. Malphite splitting. Now we get the 1-3-1 here. So Lilia can just go in. There it is. Splits him off completely because Tristana was going mech. This is what I'm talking about. How do you beat a 1-3-1? You harder engage, right? You 5v3 and you win and you shove it down mid. But you can't do that if your teammates are not really fully in position. Rumble has his TP available, but he's not there for some particular reason. So they think, oh, where's the Lilia? I don't know. Tristana jumps in. This is the thing you're waiting for. As a Lilia, as anyone in a losing game state where you've now equalized the gold advantage. See, Lilia sees that and says, okay, look, Soraka and Ezreal can dish out for this Tristana. All I gotta do here is Q flash, a flash Q, and then get this R going, right? She uses a W, which hasn't used a W, sorry, but she wants to make sure that that Q flash goes through, all right? So we get the R activation. This separates this into a two-sided team fight. We can turn onto the Tristana if she needs to, and only use the sleep as a detractor, but if Tristana's dead, then you can just go ahead and kill the Nami. Oof. Bonus damage, expunge, plus the sweet spot on the W, which of course you used there. Huge. Massive split, massive engage, massive patience. That's how you win these games. And of course, Lilia is very, very strong. She has a ridiculous amount of damage at 3.1k, at 1.2k, and obviously this doesn't tell us anything. This doesn't tell us anything either, but look at this. A Tristana is normally a very difficult champion for most to play, but she has Zhonya's, played at steel caps. She can't be kited. Beautifully done. Malphite kills the terrible, terrible Karthus. Worst Karthus world. And that's an inhib. Very nice. Watch the burn there from the Rumble though. That shit's at 1,000 damage. I wish it was 1,000 damage. It's 1656. I mean, obviously DOT, right? Damage over time, but take all of their camps. There's a Mountain Dragon, which we definitely want against that team comp as well. Yes, we've got double AP against us, but if the double AP aren't dishing damage to us and they're not in the fights and Malphite's killing one and Rumble's not in the fight or we can zone him out, don't really need the magic resist, right? We need the armor to kill the two people that are doing the most damage on their team. And sure, Rumble and Karthus in the end will do probably the most damage, but it won't be meaningful damage. So, Baron is up. Again, though, look at this. Like, we've spent the whole time not coming back. What were we down? 5k gold? Now we're up 4k, so it's a 9k gold swing. Job was not done. Kobe Bryant mode. Job was not done. Move towards the Baron. Yeah, let your supers push in a little bit. A little bit. A little bit. Words are not coming out. Now they are. They will turn to collapse. Twisted Fate does have his TP and his ultimate. Don't want a coin flip. There you go. Malphite's forced to ult out. Yeah, the one thing you don't want to do is coin flip. So now, I like this from Lilia though. That's a good contest by them. They did a solid job. There it is. Look at this. Look at this. Watch the Lilia the whole time. There it is. Drowsy. Stalled. W. TF. Rumble based. The Baron's it's a clutch call. You've got to pull it, take it, and get out as much as you can, especially if your guy's not going to join you. There's a Twisted Fate ult. W sweet spot does now 1262. 2033. But one has a 72-second cooldown, and one has a 6.3-second cooldown. Case in point, I suppose. Yeah, really, really outrageous. And obviously we do have the death cap now also. That's, you know, if you really fed death cap, is hilarious. But with this kind of build, on whatever champion you're playing with a double burn, Blackfire Torch and Leandries, it's all about your positioning, your spacing, and your survivabilities on your skill. But if you feel like you need a little bit more HP and resistance, then you have those other items to go as well. Bit of a quiet moment here as the waves are going to push up. Now, enemy team is in this position where they want to stall a little bit. TB has been committed here. Twisted Fate kills the Karthus. Really just, they don't know where to be. She's just going straight for the Rumble here. Whoa! Blackfire Torch Leandries and a Death Cap. Does a lot of damage. Obviously, we have the Zhonya's as well, but that's more just, you know, Zhonya's. There it is again. But this time we obviously don't have ult to go through with it. We do have the Zhonya's. Well, if there were to, I mean, yeah, 13-8, and that was not a good early game, right? So imagine the early game, less int, more farm, better counter jungling, 1 or 2 less silly deaths. In this particular case, the only 2 deaths in the game were both of those deaths. OP jungler, man, OP.